Hello folks, this is Miguel from the Embargo Man channel. John Barnett. The death of John Barnett, the Boeing whistleblower that caused a lot of controversy. Well, so in Raleigh, North Carolina, John Barnett is found dead. That they said that he committed suicide, right? I mean, do you believe all this? Okay, so this is what it is for corporate. Boeing doesn't want to go out of business, and for the only reason why is that, okay, if Boeing, the only reason why Boeing sees John Barnett as a Benedict Arnold, all right? Benedict Arnold was a soldier during the American Revolution, and then he decided to join the British and all that stuff. And then Benedict Arnold betrayed America. But in the John Barnett case, he betrays America for Japan. I believe that this is where he's doing. That who killed him? All right, there are so many cameras, so many investigations that have caused a lot of controversy. All I notice is that one thing for sure is that John Barnett is going to the Boeing factory, seeing the 787, what kind of flaws, maybe with Japanese investors working for HondaJet. I mean, the thing is, the big plans will lead to a Japanese company, will lead to HondaJet making planes in North Carolina. What's HondaJet's next project? What would it be? Well, the first planes to compete against the Boeing 737 MAX from Honda, I mean, they were going to be manufactured in Japan. I mean, manufactured in Japan first, because you notice it that if he were to be alive, he will say a company that makes lawnmowers makes safer planes than Boeing. That's true. That's gonna be most likely Honda in that case, because since the falling out doors, since the two crashes that have happened a couple of years ago, 2018 and 2019, the reason why it is that competition, even from China. Maybe one thing it is, maybe that if the next Boeing 737 MAX crash, you're gonna have a world leader from South America switching from Boeing to Comac. Alright, it's gonna switch from Boeing to Comac and probably ban all Boeing aircraft in favor of a Chinese manufacturer. I mean, this would be a kind of possibility that it could happen. I mean, what's going to be next? All right, so what it is for the FAA? The FAA they need to stop kissing Boeing's ass. And one thing for sure, it is to let local competition from the same country, I mean from the USA, to compete with Boeing. I mean, new startups, or bring back the L1011 or the LM1011, as I said in my other video, the TriStar from Lockheed Martin. I mean, Lockheed Martin is going to take Boeing to school. And I mean, this is another blow from Boeing. I support American manufacturing and I support American companies. Why not another American company to compete with Boeing, so Lockheed could bring back the TriStars that even that even Southwest would give the middle finger to Boeing, buying L-1011s from Lockheed Martin. I mean, this would be a great choice to say that what is it with so many accidents with Boeing and so many flaws that they failed 33 safety inspections and the rest has passed on out of 100. Alright, so what's the catch with Boeing? So what's going to be next? If Lockheed Martin are not going to come back to civil aviation, what's going to be next? What's going to be next? The creation of Airbus Korea? Oh wait, that's what be happening, the creation of Airbus Korea. That means sooner or later a Boeing plane, probably a Max or whichever plane it is, or the first time for the 787, being crashed in South Korea. So it would be investors of Airbus. So they have another lawsuit with Boeing, but this time with South Korean victims, family members of South Korean victims of a Boeing aircraft, and all the sue money goes to Airbus. The money goes to Toulouse, so the CEO of Airbus and KAI would meet in Sashion, South Korea. That's what you want? So Lockheed Martin, please make commercial aviation to compete with Boeing. So the FAA should stop kissing Boeing's ass. That's it. And for the same reason why all this have happening, it is because it's a mystery. Who knows? Who freaking killed him in the hotel room? Or what's going on? Maybe the Japanese investors or his colleague would know what's going on with John Barnett. John Barnett's family. I mean, I did this for you guys. I feel sorry for them. I feel sorry for you that you have lost. If John Barnett is your father or John Barnett, well, this is BS what the media said. The media is full of BS. Maybe maybe he worked for Honda just to say that the Japanese will enter to compete against Boeing. I mean, that's it. I mean, this is what it is. Maybe that kind of investigation towards workers of HondaJet, if there's this plans, if they ever know John Barnett and other issues going on there, right? So what's going on with Boeing is that's what's going to be next, all right? Probably that would be if there has to be even Michael Moore, the creator of 9/11, should create another documentary about Boeing, but this time it's about Boeing. We call it the Boeing's fall, the fall of Boeing, or whatever it is. You have something up with that, Michael Moore. Create something about Boeing, where Boeing's going down and whatever it is, because this would be after one incident that even LATAM Airlines have some issues with the 787. All right, this is what it is. And I mean, nobody has crashed out because look at Boeing. Boeing is screwing up. They're not focused on quality control, and then this could be all the hassles that even one thing for sure was going to happen of the next Boeing crash. If the 737 MAX crashes in Central America, I mean, what's going to be next if they crash in Central America? Then the government from that particular country where the 737 MAX crashes will pay Dave Calhoun $9 million for the dead passengers that died in that plane. It would be from an American Airlines plane, and plus a survivor that will say, go ahead, buy a gun, or to tell Calhoun to buy a gun and shoot the survivor, or to hire a hitman. All right, Boeing meets John Wick. All right, so that would be killing the survivor. That is what have happened, just like what happened with John Barnett. They're gonna kill a survivor, $9 million and extra money to kill the survivor of another Boeing 737 Max crash. If it happens in Central America, then one of these guys will be the future CEO of Southwest. And what else is it gonna be? Okay, this is one thing for sure. The guy was saying Sweet Home Alabama at court. That means if he will be the CEO of Southwest, he will just give the middle finger to Boeing, and Southwest will switch from Boeing to Airbus. Alright, and that's might happen if this kind of crash of an American Airlines 737 Max happening. It would be the president of that country going to pay Calhoun $9 million to settle in that even will have probably one or two Japanese citizens dying in a Boeing 737 Max, a survivor, and all the talks of what would it be. Alright, so what it is with John Barnett. John Barnett's telling the truth about the whistleblower. I mean, this man, who is going to speak after that? His words will be more louder towards dead Japanese passengers. Dead Japanese passengers will be the voice of John Barnett, telling that these airplanes are unsafe, Boeing is doing a bad job, and what that means of dead Japanese passengers. Dead Japanese passengers, speaking up for Boeing, that means that whatever it is, it would be all to invest of HondaJet, Honda making an airplane, probably Mitsubishi enters the picture, and it would give Boeing a run for its money. Alright, Boeing a run for its money. All it is that out of dead Japanese passengers, Boeing's gonna speak out of dead Japanese passengers that would see is by action. This is by action because if quality control at Boeing is not going to be settled up that means Boeing would be going out of business. What you have is Airbus, Comac, and probably Honda or Mitsubishi. Most likely Honda, right? So what's going on with this? Boeing would be the next Pearl Harbor, but this time, if Boeing is the next Pearl Harbor, Japan wins. Alright, Japan wins, because I gotta tell you what, how Boeing's doing their things, they're not doing their things right. So what it is that I'm gonna say this, that if Lockheed Martin, the people at Lockheed, you notice what Boeing is doing, passengers, jets, people are not freaking safe, riding on a Boeing plane. Look at this. What is the meaning of safety and high quality control? Alright? This is the reason why the big three in the automotive industry, they trying to take out these car companies like Curtis, Studebaker, and and all these, and Hudson, to say that they make better cars than the Ford, GM, and Chrysler, and they just take all these American companies out of business. Boeing is being the bully, just like the big three back in the day, going against AMC, going against Hudson, going against Studebaker, only to say that you want to sell an inferior product and let the companies that makes a better product loses. All right, so this is how it goes. What it is now, Boeing is the bully against the small startups. All right, I mean, for all of you that you want to start up, don't wait for the Europeans. I mean, they already have Airbus as a European company. Don't wait for the Europeans, the Japanese, or the Chinese, or even the Koreans under a European company take over the American aerospace or aviation industry. You have to start your own company, make it better quality, focus on what it is, and learn the Kaizen techniques or the same, the Toyota way, all right, or something, or anywhere. Go do the strictest quality controlled, very disciplined working place. Be dedicated, no nonsense, no BS. Only dedicate to making airplanes. That's it. Only to dedicating of making airplanes. Because one day, maybe you might see a company that makes lawnmowers and makes cars and motorcycles that comes from Japan will outperform Boeing, and Boeing goes out of business. And then what new American company we're gonna have if we don't have anything? Okay, we already have lost the war in the automotive industry, but then coming back in this, and then what's next? We're gonna lose it on the aviation industry. I mean, I like the startups as car companies like Tesla and stuff, and just giving up a boost on the electric vehicles, right? So, but in the airplanes, when it comes to safety matter, I mean, that's what they're doing. They're giving the chance to the Europeans. They're giving the chance to the Chinese. They're giving the chance to even the Japanese. All right. So Boeing is gonna be the next fucker. All right. So next fucker is a Dutch aerospace company, an airplane company that went out of business. All right. That's what happened with Boeing. If they going to seek competition from Japan and competition from China and even competition from South Korea under a European company known as Airbus. You rode the A320 planes. Those planes are built in Alabama, all right? They might even build them in Sashion, South Korea, all right? So what it is with the whistleblower is that the evidence that we all know that what's going to happen, that he's going to speak out. Why do they kill him? Why did the media made up all these BS? They made up all this BS because I think he is behind something. John Barnett and his family. John Barnett, most likely he is behind something. He might probably working for the Japanese. Yes, the Japanese, a Japanese company, They make lawnmowers, they make motorcycles, they make cars. Honda, alright? So he's working for Honda. He's working for HondaJet, probably in projects, probably the Japanese and colleagues on his side or whatever wanted a hotel. This is what I think he was doing, because I think that he believed that I believe that he was working for the Japanese, and then suddenly with all this case and settling in court against Boeing. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, this is not just people from just one country, from all countries. And I mean for one thing only and one thing only. Look, if the Japanese public, if each Japanese citizen dies in a Boeing 737 MAX plane, even if they crash it outside of Japan, probably in Central America by American Airlines, then I mean the $9 million paycheck from a world leader given to Dave Calhoun so he collect the money so that government could, you know, keep the regime running, right? So it would be like kind of nonsense or something like that, you know. I mean, and plus a couple of Japanese citizens being killed in that Boeing 737 MAX flight, if that were to happen, or if it happens in Japan, right? So that would also, before happening in Japan, even the Japanese aviation agency and the Japanese companies would just settle in. Just Honda and Mitsubishi, probably Toyota, right? So go in there, court, in support for John Barnett. I mean, John Barnett, probably he's working behind Honda, and what he's doing, he's just a whistleblower from Boeing. Well, why he's a whistleblower from Boeing, all right? He is at Boeing says, oh, I'm sorry for your loss and whatever. Bull, BS, all right? That's BS, all right? Why is BS? Because that's what they say. Why? They look him like he was a Benedict Arnold for Boeing, says, oh yeah, but Benedict Arnold were switched from the Americans to the British. On the other hand, John Barnett switching for working for the Americans to the Japanese. I mean, like he was like Benedict Arnold. You betrayed America and you worked for the Japanese. All right. So in other words, working for Honda. All right, HondaJet. All right. So what's going to be next? I mean, this is what it is to have a Japanese company building planes in North Carolina in the future. So it was the Boeing stake. It is their poor quality control at Boeing versus Japan versus Honda, highest quality standards, higher quality control, making things better than Boeing. They will put Boeing out of business on the fate of Fokker. All right, so I mean a Japanese company put an American company on the fate of a Dutch aerospace company. It would be like, hey, Boeing's out of business, you know. I mean, then, but there's no right to say to settle in that if it's not just that, but I gotta tell you all the lawsuits and my other video about Airbus building planes in Korea. I mean, the only thing what will happen if it happens in South Korea, I mean, Boeing would be, I mean, it's going to, it says comparing the Chinese processes of World War II with Boeing, like the Japanese government denial of raping Chinese women during World War II kind of thing. It's kind of have this question about it. You know, it's like what it is with Boeing and what it is with their governments and the ignorance and no other competition, and even Lockheed Martin not having the guts to come back to the civil aviation industry, bringing back the 1011 TriStar, and you have the All-Star and whatever it is. I mean, Lockheed Martin should come back. It's like the only American company that I think is going to do things right and better than Boeing and focus on safety. And I believe how it is with government contracts from Lockheed Martin and doing all this why? Because Boeing in that even not even the defense are making airplanes that not even for a fighter jet, you know, fighting for its country, will say, oh shoot, I'm gonna shoot out a parachute because the plane don't work. There's a reason why Boeing lost to Lockheed Martin. And then what's going on if Lockheed Martin will come back to civil aviation? Lockheed Martin, if it comes to civil aviation, commercial aviation, Lockheed Martin, I bet, will take Boeing to school. Alright? They're gonna outsell Boeing and whatever it is. I mean, this is what it is. This is like Harley Davidson versus Indian. When I mean Harley Davidson are being expensive and oil leaks and problems, and this is why Indian is outselling Harley Davidson, because they're selling cheesy quality bikes, while Indian behind Polaris is making a better quality motorcycle. Even though both companies are American, even Lockheed is American, they're gonna end up making better quality aircrafts, safety, more concern safety over profits, not profits over safety. I mean, what would happen with these two American companies, TriStar and Max? I mean, the TriStar will outsell the Max. The TriStar will take the 737 Max to school. Alright? This is just one plan of all this. Even Akio Toyota would be helping out with an engine. Alright? So that's what it is. But the question is of Barnett, John Barnett, and what do you think of all this? I mean, I believe that all this case, what will happen with Boeing is they're looking for all this. They're looking for what's Boeing's doing right now. Falling off doors, faulty planes, a wheel fall off, what a damn good year when a good year fell in your car. Damn. I mean, what the hell? A good year in somebody else's car? A tire fell off. What the hell? A tire fell off, It's a good year, but it become a bad year, alright? So, hey, it becomes a bad year. Freaking, who smashed it just like a freaking monster truck? Alright, so anyway, this is what Boeing is going on. I mean, making faulty products that break down, and then what's going on with that? I mean, they're losing business left and right until you haven't crashed and everything. I mean, I think if it wasn't for that, what would Boeing is when you don't have Lockheed Martin in to enter the game to take Boeing to school. I mean, Airbus will still haven't given more jobs in Mobile, Alabama. Which other model will be given out in Mobile, Alabama? Airbus Korea would be formed in Sachon, South Korea, where they make the first A320 for Korean Air. And then what would happen with Airbus Korea? I mean, they would be formed with Airbus accusation of Korean Aerospace Industries, KAI. I mean, the F-22 Baby Hawk, the Korean fighter jet, the F, is going to be part of the Airbus family. Yeah, and that's what had happened. In the other side, and one thing is the formation of Airbus Korea happens. Boeing is in trouble, and then nobody in South Korea will buy Boeing planes because they favor Airbus. Thanks to Airbus, the formation of Airbus Korea, and then what's going to happen? Even the country of Colombia might even ban Boeing planes. I mean, might even ban Boeing planes, and probably it'll be the first president of Colombia who is in power right now. If it happens right now, he might switch his presidential plane for a Chinese-made Comac, and then whatever it is with Comac. I mean, I don't want that. Chinese planes and everything like that. Well, okay, so, or I might see the speak up for John Barnett. out of dead Japanese passengers to say Mitsubishi gets in the airplane business again. HondaJet will make an airplane to compete against the Boeing 737 MAX, and voila, it would be like whatever. Even if John Barnett might be working for Honda and they kill him, alright? So they send some hitman to kill him, alright? This is like one of the bonus again. Oh yeah, this guy's working for Honda. He's a traitor. He's a Benedict Arnold. Boom, that's it. The thing is with that, if I would say this, whatever happened to John Barnett, even if he's working for a Japanese company, even if he's going to more investigation towards Boeing, I mean, Michael Moore, the creator of Fahrenheit 9/11, should make something about Boeing, and then this is what happened. I know what it's going to be, alright? So, the main thing is, if it's about to happen right now, the only settling thing that what will happen with all this, they might have some half Japanese guy saying to open up an Airbus factory in Japan. Like Toyota could settle in with Airbus in Japan, alright? So, if that happens, what will happen? Dave Calhoun will have $900 billion, a $900 million paycheck. It would be, it would be Ortega Securities, all right, Ortega Securities or whatever it is, and why that's what it is for the crash of a 737 Max crash in Central America. $900 million for what? Ortega Securities. Somebody's gonna mention about the Ortega Securities paycheck for $900 million. I mean, and then what's going on with all this and all this settling, it would end up with that plane, if a crash happens, with just one or two Japanese citizens died in a plane crash. I mean, this is going to be like, okay, and what's going on with Ortega Securities and $900 million, right? So and the survivor might be the future CEO of Southwest, giving the middle finger to Boeing, and Southwest will switch from Boeing to Airbus, and they make A320s in Mobile, Alabama, and then you see in the back of their new company they buying the Southwest planes, it says made with love in Sweet Home, Alabama. All right, so that would be for I mean the Southwest divorced from Boeing and settling with Airbus. I mean, and all the question to all this and the lawsuits of Boeing being in more trouble, plus the death of John Barnett, it would be all this is going to be this: a survivor, the family members of the crashes, another crash happens, the crash that have happened. So you have probably the people at HondaJet, the people in all these areas, and even the people of Airbus, of the owner of Airbus, taking all the money for the South Korean victims that will die in another Boeing 737 MAX accident in South Korea, collecting the money for Airbus to build a facility in Sachon, South Korea, similar to what GM did buying Daewoo, but this time it's KAI. I mean, what it is. I mean, for the Barnett family, I feel sorry for this. I mean, this is what's going on. I mean, what it is, that if Lockheed would make would be entering the commercial aviation industry, then Lockheed Martin would be soaring high, outselling Boeing, taking Boeing to school, and then you have a great American workforce, that they don't focus on profit, they focus on quality, they focus on safety. And what it is, the best of all things, it's a US based company, so we don't live without an American aerospace company. So a matter of fact, they're like taking the lead for the Europeans, the Japanese, and the Chinese, and probably the Koreans under the umbrella of a European company, and just to settle in that our lives would be better off living without Boeing, and then we trust America in a new company riding on Lockheed TriStars. Alright, then more maybe All-Star, Lockheed Martin would be taking Boeing to school. Alright, but in that case, for the Barnett family, I feel very sorry for this. And for the new companies, don't let Boeing put you in there. Keep making it, keep designing the ones here in America. I'm not talking about Japan, I'm not talking about Europe, and I'm not talking about South Korea planning to make deals with Airbus. I'm talking about here in the USA. Alright? US based company, new US based companies, whoever the owner, I don't care if you're black, white, Asian, Latino, or whatever, but please do a startup, and please, if a new US based aerospace company enters the picture, it will take Boeing to school, because it will dedicate to quality. Alright, so, and it will dedicate to safety over profits, not profits over safety. So that's it. That's what it is. And for Lockheed Martin, when you come back to the commercial aviation industry, TriStar will take the MAX to school. Safety over profits, not versus profits over safety, what Boeing does. Alright, so that would be Lockheed taking Boeing to school. Alright, so I might say, on the day if Lockheed Martin bring back the TriStar, I'd rather fly on the TriStar than on the MAX. Sorry about that. I would say a Boeing fan. I don't ride the plane. I don't fly the planes. I'm not a plane mechanic. I just ride the planes. I just ride the planes wherever I go. I'll be safe. But if there's the day that Lockheed will be coming back with the TriStar, then I'll be a fan of Lockheed myself, because I'll trust an American company. And I will tell you this. This would be just like what would happen if Harley-Davidson's makes a crappy bike. Indian is outselling Harley-Davidson. If Boeing makes a crappy plane, then Lockheed will outsell Boeing. Alright, that's it. Please write me a comment. Subscribe to Embargo Man. And for the Barnett family, I wish the best of you, that you have lost your family member, that you lost your dad, and even if he was working for a Japanese company trying to make plans to build HondaJet, and let HondaJet makes a Boeing 737 competitor. I wish for all this condolences, and I would say that everybody are going to eat Boeing's lunch, and Boeing make better products. You know what it is with safety and everything. Why did I mention Lockheed? Because I would want Lockheed to bring back the TriStar. That means if another American company are making better products than you have, then they will buy more Lockheed than Boeing. Keep the quality up. Don't focus this. This is what it is. See you all later on the next video on Embargo Man. Subscribe to my channel. Hit the bell button for the next following video. And please stay safe. Goodbye.